Hi and welcome to Ballmasters Football. We have a brand new show again, talking about the Premier League top six. And to my right we have Coach Kyle, to my left we have Coach Alfie. And let's get stuck in. So the first game, Arsenal Palace, how do you feel it went?
Yeah, it was a good start to the season for Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we love Arsenal, three of us. I think the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, we dominated them.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like we didn't have another chance after. We had chances, but we didn't take our chances.
Yeah.
So I think it was a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just need to take, if we create more chances, I think we need to take them, because as we know, Selhurst Park is a terrible, it's a terrible place to go. So I think to let them go into the game more, I think it's going to be difficult. So I think I enjoyed the performance. I just want Arsenal to take more chances.
Yeah. How's your take on the game?
Like Albie said, I think positive performance. I think from that game it's only going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that I would actually give a bit of praise to is Thomas Parry.
Yeah.
He had non-stop abuse every time he got that ball,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he was our main anchor that game. I don't think no one really got past him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of praise to him. I think Ramsdale as well. Although he made a few mistakes, he saved us. And I'd rather he made a mistake instead. I'd rather he saved us, than making a mistake. So.
Yeah, I think for me, Ramsdale. I know with the little hiccups that he made at the beginning, but I think he what's the word? He redeemed himself with the save, which I thought he went in. But I thought Zinchenko was very good at left back. I think just a question mark, I would say, defensively in terms of track going the other way.
Yeah.
Ben White was solid. Again, I think he played there pre-season, so again putting him in the position, especially going up against Zaha at Selhurst is a difficult thing, and I thought he kept coped with the task very well.
Someone I want to give praise to is Granit Xhaka.
I was just about to get to that.
Was because it was a yellow card for a good 60 minutes of the game, and I said to you, I remember saying to you, he's going to get sent off.
Yeah, we made a joke about that,
because last season he would have made a silly tackle and they got sent off. But discipline-wise, I thought he was actually really good.
Yeah. I think overall, to go to Selhurst at any point of the season and get 3 points, for me is a great achievement. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how we get on in the next game against Leicester, which we'll talk about on the next show. But moving on to Chelsea now. Chelsea-Everton. Chelsea won 1-0. How did you feel that went, Kyle?
I think from a Chelsea's point of view, really boring, sloppy football going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, I think no problems, but I think attacking-wise, really, really sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
They had multiple chances, didn't take them. It's as if they flooded the box, but there was no sort of cross going in. So when Everton counter-attacked, it was a dangerous counter-attack because there was no one to cover.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only person they had back was just Kante. So it's, you know.
What's your take on it?
I think, I said to you before that Chelsea-Everton really interested the game.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Frank Lampard wanting to beat his old club.
Yeah.
Obviously great manager as well. I think Everton wanted it more. You saw in that passages of play, Everton going forward wanted it more. Again, as Kaya said, it was boring from a Chelsea perspective. I think all three of us know, Chelsea need that number 9. Chelsea need a target man, and they don't have one.
Yeah.
Obviously, selling Lukaku. Timo Werner just gone to RB Leipzig. Like, who have Chelsea got in that number 9?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think it's a curse at number 9.
Especially Arsenal as well. That number 9 spot we don't.
Well, Jesus, so be careful. Don't jinx it.
Don't
jinx it. No, please. But no, I agree. I think with Everton, would it be a different scoreline if they had Calvin?
Yeah.
I think any striker, because if, especially someone like Calvert-Lewin, if he can, because he in the air he's unreal.
I'm thinking because the difference of, I know none of them could have maybe said, obviously, I don't know, in terms of an out striker. I don't think Chelsea had that. Neither did Everton. Obviously, they've sold Richarlison as well, and
Rondon's also injured.
Exactly. So I'm just thinking to myself, they haven't really got that vocal point, and I think for them to really have a good season, it's going to depend on how well and how fit they're able to keep their strikers fit and available.
I've gone for Everton to get relegated, as you know, but I think that will change if that number 9, if they get number 9.
Between now,
if they don't,
between now and the window.
I'm sticking with Everton.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, I think Chelsea, as I said before, my opinion, Chelsea need a creative midfielder and they need a striker. I think if they're able to get those two, I think they could easily get top 4. But that all depends on how busy they get in that transfer window. The next team we've got is City. City winning 2-0 against West Ham. What was your take on that?
Man City is Man City. No matter what club they play, they always put out a great performance. And Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland, it's gonna be over for us as well, because again, De Bruyne assisting Erling Haaland. That's not the last time we missed it.
Yeah, that was a good ball.
That was a good ball.
That was a good ball. We spoke about it earlier on the previous show. That was a really, really good ball, and it's just what Kevin De Bruyne does. It's just what Kevin De Bruyne does.
And I think I personally, the whole Man City performance was exactly how they carried on from last season. Obviously, pre-season there's a few holes in the road, but I think now the season started, they are going to try and push it up, as I said to you before, the 100-point mark in the Premier League.
I think as well, and it's not an easy, again, playing West Ham away is not an easy place to go and get 3 points.
I know when we played it last season, Lingard, we were, was it 3-0 down?
Yeah, something crazy like that. And I just think for me, to go there, to get 3 points there, I think that is a great result, and I think it will go towards them, kicking on towards the end of the season. That those points will come in very, very handy. What's your take on it?
I'm not going to really talk about City because obviously City is City. They're incredible. But I'm going to talk more about West Ham. I think you have to feel for West Ham. They had their keeper come off just before half time, I think it was.
Yeah.
I don't really understand what West Ham were doing. They were all sitting back. You can't sit back and let City attack you like that because it's only going to end up badly.
Yeah, it's just the thing is as well. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like a thing where do you go out and try and play or try and press them, and then you leave space and holes for them to play around you, or do you try to be resilient and be hard to break down, and hit on the counter? And it's just like, how do you set yourself up against City?
City has so many playing styles. If you
you
can't bank on one.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're looking to defend the whole game and you concede the goal, especially again, it was a penalty that they conceded, and then all of a sudden they conceded their seconds not shortly after. But I just think for me, they've got their striker in.
That's what they've needed.
They brought their striker in, and they've got some defenders in that they brought as well. So I'm kind of interested to see how further they go as well during the course of the season.
I'm also excited to see how West Ham will bounce back from that.
Yeah.
Because again, West Ham have got some not easy fixtures. They've got some tough fixtures coming up, but I think they need to win the next game.
I think David Moyes will get them boys playing. I think Declan Rice will again, solid performance from him. It's just obviously he can't do it on his own. So I just think that they will be playing come next game. I'll be surprised if they start losing a run of games. But I think they'll bounce back.
I think obviously what David Moyes wants as well is European football as well, because they've done it last season. So I think David Moyes would want it to happen again. So
moving on to the next team, Tottenham 4-1 against Southampton. How did you take the game?
Dominant Tottenham performance, to be honest. I'll give it to them. I don't really like to give Tottenham praise, but I'll give it to them as a dominant performance. Southampton, I'm a bit disappointed, really, because I don't really know what they're doing. I mean, it's like West Ham. They just sat back. You can't let Tottenham attack you either, especially with their strike force. Their strike force is unbelievable. So letting Tottenham attack you for a constant 90 minutes. You can see it led to an own goal as well. And Kulusevski is on fire. Ryan Sessegnon on fire. Kane connecting up play. I think the whole Tottenham squad was excellent. They were excellent. Southampton really poor.
Obviously, I wasn't able to watch a game because I was coaching outside doing a kids' party. But when I saw the notification of Tottenham going 1-0 down, I thought it's going to be a long way back. But when I watched Match of the Day and the highlights of it, you saw that goal threat Tottenham have. And as you said, Son, Kane, Kulusevski, Sessegnon done really well. Someone who I want to get praised though is that midfield. That top midfield. They were not. One of them were going forward, one of them stood back. Going forward, Tottenham created it because of that. And then Son obviously making that run in behind. Son, you know what? He's a great young. He's great. He's dangerous. And Kane, yes, he didn't score.
It's the way he links up play.
Yeah. And another praise is Eric Dyer.
Yeah, he was alright to be fair.
Eric Dyer. Yeah. Now, if I see Tottenham, I think of Jan Vertonghen. I don't think of him. I want someone like Eric Dyer scoring goals as well as a centre back, because we have obviously defence as that as well. But for Tottenham standing, that will be really good as well.
Yeah, I think with the Tottenham, I know obviously we're talking about Tottenham. I know Jude will be watching this, rubbing his hands, thinking, well done, great result, easy win. I think for me, I was so impressed of Kulusevski.
He was unreal.
He was just unreal. And I think for me, Inter Milan must be kicking themselves in terms of letting a player like that go. You know, he's a really, really good talent. And is he Inter Milan?
Juventus.
Juventus, but
sorry, I got it wrong.
Same Italian club.
Sorry, got it wrong. Yeah, so Juventus. So I think for me, they'll be kicking themselves because I think someone with his talent, and he's young as well, isn't he?
Yeah, yes.
So I think with him at his age, that's only going to be the future of Tottenham.
He's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I think he can. You know, the way he was dictating the attacks, and I felt that every single time when he got the ball from one wing, he was trying to look to spread it and switch it to Sessegnon.
And it worked as well.
It did, and I think whoever they play, I think they're playing Chelsea next, so I would like to see how they cope with that and how they can nullify Tottenham's
I want to
play.
see how Tottenham's attack goes against Chelsea's defence.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that on the obviously on the fixture predictions on our next show. But yeah, I think I'm really, really pleased with how they played. I think their players seem to be settling in quite well. Obviously we didn't get to see Rich Arnold because he's serving a suspension, but I think he's still to come as well. So again, the firepower that they've got and the creativity in their attacks are going to be quite a sight. I just hope that they just don't turn up at the London derbies.
They always turn up.
I just dreaded them just turning up. But I think we'll have enough. But again, we'll talk more about that when we have that fixture comes closer to the time. But the second game of the fixture, which was like 12 o'clock on Saturday, which was Liverpool Fulham. That was a shock. That was a shock.
I predicted 4-0.
I predicted 3-0.
I know.
Do you know what? I hold my hands up. Fulham. I don't get how they did not get 3 points in a game.
You know why?
Go on.
Their midfield.
Yeah.
That midfield three was unreal.
You know someone else I want to point out? Robinson, their left back. Of course, Salah had his moments, but he was able to keep Salah quiet for quite a while. Yeah. I think he was excellent going forward, Robinson. He was... I've never seen a Fulham left back like that before.
I've never seen a Fulham team want that win as much.
Yeah, Mitrovic. Mitrovic. Wow, the way he sent Van Dijk to the shot, that was
straight sandwich.
That's actually the first penalty Van Dijk has conceded in his career or something like that.
Yeah, that is sandwich.
We want to talk more about it, but again, that's going to be shocked because again,
I did not expect it.
I didn't. I think Liverpool. I thought Mo Salah probably hat trick, and do you know what? Someone who I want to talk about, Darwin Núñez.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
he got his goal eventually. Fair play to that.
Did you notice that he tried that flick
from the first time, didn't work, done it again.
And he had the confidence to do it again.
And I like that.
I like that as well.
Yeah, I think for me, I was quite impressed with Darwin Núñez. I was very, very impressed with the way that the Fulham wingers were able to really give Trent and was it Robinson?
Yeah.
Trouble. You know, all game, and I thought one of them, I forgot the gentleman's name.
They're right winger.
Yeah, the right winger hit the post.
Yeah.
Oh, that shot.
Yeah, again, that should have went in.
No, yeah.
You know, and again, it could have been on another day. It could have been quite a big problem for Liverpool.
You know, someone who I was quite shocked about, Trent. How poor he was.
Yeah.
Defending that cross, he just ducked down.
I don't know what he's doing. Yeah. Was it? I don't know whether he was personal. I don't know whether he was trying to let that usher that ball
You
out.
shouldn't.
Especially
Mitrovic, it should be
you have to
checking
deal
his
with that.
shoulder.
You should be dealing with that. You should be dealing with that, or you should be getting a call from your keeper. But he didn't do enough. He weren't on track.
But there's no point talking about Liverpool. You have to praise Fulham for that one.
It just shows them that Liverpool didn't want it. It just showed that Fulham wanted it more than Liverpool. And again, if Fulham keep doing that to every single Premier League club, they're going to stay up.
I think usually Fulham usually win their home games. I think it was just usually their away games that they were quite poor, like when they were in the Premiership last time. I just think for me, Liverpool need to really look at them. So I'm not really too worried about Liverpool. I know Klopp will have the boys playing well for the next game. I just think it was just a surprise to all of us. I thought Diaz done really well for them in the first half. I think he was very unlucky with that shot, brilliant shot that came off the post. I was very, very pleased with the overall game as a neutral watching. But yeah, I was very, very pleased with that. But the next game we're moving on, obviously our mate Craig, Man United fan.
He wants the season over already.
Yeah, if I was him, I wouldn't blame him either. Man United 1, Brighton 2 at Old Trafford. What would you predict? Well, I know we predicted a Man United win, but what was your thoughts after that game when you've heard the result?
You know, I actually didn't predict a win. I predicted a 1-1.
Because
Brighton like I said in the previous video, Brighton are a very unpredictable team.
Yes.
They either turn up or they don't, and at Old Trafford they turn up. Go on.
You know what? And I think this player who turned up for Brighton is
Man United man, so.
Yeah, in terms of for same thing with it was with Arsenal. It's very unpredictable. It wasn't like consistent. Obviously injuries. Welbeck, we're talking about just for the viewers.
His physical presence that game.
It gave him trouble, absolute trouble. It reminded me that Danny Welbeck that played against Chelsea in the FA Cup when we won it 2-1. I just think for me, he just had a presence and he was just a handful all game. Maguire couldn't handle him. Martinez again, which I want to hear your guys' opinions on him because obviously I know he's bought for 60 million. I just want to know what your thoughts are. Obviously, you gave away. Obviously, you could have gave away.
Should have been. 100%.
So again, I just want to find out your thoughts on the game.
The reason it's gonna be a little joke here. The reason why I say United lost that game is because it's the wrong side of the tunnel when they're coming out. That's the reason.
I saw that actually. I saw the hair.
Harry Maguire standing on the wrong side of the tunnel. That's when they lost the game.
And the thing is, I saw the hair go.
That's fine.
And he's like, all right,
yeah, let's go. Yeah. But no, I think Man United.
They're in a big hole right now.
It's going to take a long time for them to come back. Mm-hmm. It is. Like we were in that situation a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a long time. I think United have the players.
You think?
I think they do.
I disagree.
On their day, I think Sancho will do a job.
We'll hear you.
Rashford will do a job. I think what needs changing is that midfield.
Yes.
Because if I was a Man United fan.
Well, your brother's a Man United fan.
He is.
Shout out to Sonny.
Yeah. If I was a Man United fan, to have Fred and McTominay in that midfield, I don't know what to do.
Well, because they could have bought Torreira off us.
He would fit right in. He'd fit right in. And
they could have bought Torreira off us, mate. You'd have done alright for them.
For us as neutrals, them Glazers, stay with them. Stay there. Don't leave. Just stay. Because to see Man United losing the first game of the season at home,
it's a nice little
way to start the season. It is. But Yeah, I think midfield needs to change. Harry Maguire needs to get out and not be captain. I think they need a new right back.
They need a new team.
They need it. I think they've got managed to do it. I think they just need to work together. I think they need to just adjust to Eric Ten Hag's tactics and ways of moving. But apart from that, Man United, it's a long season, Phil.
Yeah.
So I wish you best of luck.
What was your thing that you disagree with?
What I disagree with Alfie is I don't think he had the players to do it.
No.
Rashford, I think, you know, I hate to say it, I might be stretching a little bit, but it's kind of reminding me of Dele Alli right now. I hate because I really like Rashford, but he's reminding me of Dele Alli right now. Confidence is at an all-time low. He's just getting worse. He's just getting worse. With Sancho is their bright spark, but confidence again. Their striker worries. I mean, it's just getting worse at this point, really. We don't know what's going on. Midfield is just horrible. The midfielders, they have no. I think the only player that stood out to me that game was Eriksen.
Yes.
He was very good. I wouldn't say unreal because the whole team performance was just poor, but his personal performance himself was, for me, very good.
My question to you guys: do you think Ronaldo will be there?
No.
Yeah.
I think if one Champions League club, doesn't matter who it is, goes in for him, I think he's gone. Doesn't matter who they are.
I think I understand both points. I think for me, Man United, obviously, from my time growing up, have been a successful club.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a time. There's always ever been Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal. Growing up, I just think for me, the way that they've put it this way, they knew from a long time that they were going to get the new manager in.
Yeah.
So they should know that if Pogba isn't going to sign a new contract, they already know that he's likely to go. When he went, there should have been a plan B. You've gone in for De Jong. Is it De Jong?
Yeah,
taken 13 weeks.
They've gone. So what I'm trying to say is that they haven't had no plan B. They've already said that he's not going. He's staying. So there's no plan B. So I don't understand why it's took them that long to then go to make the move for that player. Was it then played?
Rabiot. They've gone from
Pogba,
De Jong to Rabiot.
So what I'm trying to say is that why did it take them that long to go and get a midfielder? And then when you do go and get a midfielder,
I think it's
you then go for that guy. To me, it does look like a panic buy. And we will know about panic buys Arsenal. So I just think for me, it just didn't really make any sense. There was no point. At no point did we sense or see any links with this midfielder. So I just thought to myself, out of all the midfielders, you're Man United.
They attract big. They're meant to attract the big players.
So I'm just thinking it just didn't add up when we had, these players. No midfielders, no top midfielders have been linked with them. Obviously I know that they got their player. They brought in Martinez again. I want to know your thoughts on him and how he got on his debut. How did you feel he got on Alfie?
Should be a penalty.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, it should be a penalty because again, he come from behind.
You're a referee as well.
I am. And yeah,
not regular one.
Yeah. No, right. But again, he come from behind. So realistically, I personally think the referee got it wrong. I think he's gonna take time to settle in.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't know if you saw, but
do you
go on.
Do you think with his height is a problem?
Yes.
It's going to be a problem.
And going back to height.
I'm just thinking because obviously the next game, obviously we'll talk about that more on the predictions. But they've got Brentford.
Bournemouth.
Brentford.
Ivan Toney will be all over.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like a thing where, and then not only that as well, you've got Luke Shaw on that side who isn't that tall.
Yeah.
So then, what do you think happens from there?
They're going to struggle. Sorry, they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
They might just target that side.
I think maybe perhaps you shift out Martinez to the left back role, bring Lindelof in if he's fit. I think that's because against Ivan Toney, corner wise, the size of Brentford centre backs, I saw Martinez trying to mark Welbeck at one point. It's just not working. It's not going to work either way, is it?
Yeah.
The thing is, as a neutral, I'd play Phil Jones and Martinez just for Brentford win. As a joke.
Okay.
If I was
a
United fan, I'd drop Martinez and, as you said, put Lindelof in. The reason why is because his height is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw that Sky Sports thing, that all the tall players and Martinez was like really
I
slow.
saw that.
Yeah, that was funny. But again, I think they are going to struggle. I think what United now need to do is, what Eric Ten Hag needs to do is regroup and say, what am I going to do? Because he knows that Ivan Toney is a dangerous man. He is.
But the thing is, though, what we have to remember is that he must have known when he came from Ajax to Man United that he must have identified some players that he may want to bring into Manchester United. He must have an idea that the Pogba situation, he must then have an idea of the Matic situation. So he should then know what midfielders he's got, what midfielders he needs to identify, and then see what players he can bring in out of the list that he's given them. But there needs to be something, because that isn't enough.
No.
That isn't enough. So it's like with us, like in the past when we had Xhaka, and we needed an upgrade. So we are obviously, in the case of Arsenal, they are trying to address it. In terms of Manchester United, it seems like it's just stale, and I just feel that there just needs to be a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I just think, in my opinion. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap
I
up?
think we've covered it really, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I just think, like Eric Ten Hag, you need, even you said about the midfield defenders, because yes, Martinez, he knows from Ajax, but alongside Harry Maguire, come on.
And they still decided to keep him.
And going back to your point, I was about to say that. I think one decision he's got wrong is to put Harry Maguire as captain.
Because that's how you know he can play the full 38 games.
Yeah, and the league game and the cup games if he doesn't want to change it up.
Yeah.
But I think Man United are in for another long season if Harry Maguire is still.
Yeah.
Like if that was me managing, I'd get rid of Harry Maguire as captain.
Yeah.
I'd put probably De Gea as captain, or even just find someone that is willing to play the games and actually put a 110% effort.
Yeah.
Because as long as as an Arsenal fan, as long as I don't care if we lose, but as long as we give 110% effort, that is what I care about. As long as you show the fans that actually I want to play for this football club, and I don't see anyone from Man United doing that. I don't.
So just before we wrap it up, so we'll just give you the fixtures from the teams in the top six. So we've got this weekend, we've got Arsenal against Leicester, we've got City against Bournemouth, we've got Brentford against Manchester United, and we've got Chelsea against Spurs, and we've got Liverpool against Palace. And obviously we'll talk more in depth in terms of what our predictions are in those results. But yeah, I was really pleased with again how Arsenal are doing in the opening games, and it's just because it's the first game, you're able just to relax and just watch all the other teams. But yeah, so and I know it's going to be quite an interesting game against Leicester, and obviously we'll go more in depth on the next show. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Again, thank you for viewing the videos and commenting, and we look forward to seeing you on the next show.